I hiked the Great Divide Trail last summer, and this is my pack. So this is a Northern ultralight pack. They only come in one size. It served me really well. Super tough, super well made. So let's go on the outside first. I'll take everything out, and then I'll take everything out on the inside, and I'll describe what I took with me on the trip and what worked and what did not. So let's flip it around and look at the shoulder straps. So on the shoulder straps I had the bear spray, certainly something you needed. Let's just say something you should have, and hopefully you do not need it. Then I had a water bottle, was an aqua pack. Now I had two of these. They're about 600 mils each. Unfortunately, one of them got a puncture, user error, sitting on a rock or something. So that I only have one left. Then if you look at one of the outside pockets, I have my cook kit. So this is the cooking kit I brought with me. This is a DCF stuff sack, but it's also insulated to help keep things warm. Then inside that, let's move this out of the way. Inside that was a Toaks 600 milliliter cook set. Inside that, there was a windscreen there, which is no longer with me because I've misplaced it. Let's put that to the side. Well, actually, both of these, let's look. I was thinking maybe I'd do some cooking and maybe do some cold soaking. So when I added it up together, and they fit so nicely in, it gave the opportunity to do both. So that's why I had both. But also because I was traveling on the airline, and because I could not use fuel through the mail, I chose Abbott fuel. So the Abbott fuel can be shipped much easier than the liquid gas or the butane propane. So that was my choice. So with that came my little Abbott stove. This is a little stuff sack I have it in. So in this little stuff sack I have my little titanium Abbott stove and my lighter. So this works out really well. It's made of titanium. Just unfold it. You put one of the Abbott tabs in there, throw it on the top, and it cooks. It's not as efficient, as effective as other types, but it is easy. Well, the problem was I lost this on the trail. So all that and this became useless. So this, with my great little human gear spoon, became my source of eating. So about halfway through the trip, I lost the Abbott stove, so I cold soaked the remainder of the adventure. And at the end of the day, I rather enjoyed it. So it was a mistake that worked out really well for me. Then I flip it around to the other pocket, and I have, this is just a placeholder because I had two of these originally. So this is just filling in the spot. And then what else I have is my Katadyn bee-free filter. Then on the big outside front pocket here, I'll just pull out the stuff. I have a little bag here that's got lots of small clothing accessories I may need while on the trail. Let's look at that. My mini clothing bag, which I have usually on the outside of my pack, for little pieces of clothing I may need as I go. So that's just a little DCF bag again, waterproof. At least the material is waterproof. So this is a head net I used. I rather like this on the Great Divide Trail. This is a mosquito head net, and it worked well, served me well. I didn't use it as much as I thought I would, which is a good thing. So these are gloves I brought. They're synthetic, made by Outdoor Research. Now, I really like them on some of those cold mornings, but also some of those wet mornings. I could not work my phone, which was a necessity for navigation and or taking my videos. So I ended up cutting the fingers off the pointing fingers off as well as the thumbs, so I could use my device with them. And it didn't seem to degrade my, my protection of my hands, and I was warm enough. So that worked out well. That's a good mistake. Then my hat. This is a Peak the Plateau little hat. I like this. It's a wool type material. They no longer make this hat. I like it particularly because it is super small and super light, and it gives me just enough insulation. And I had a pair of waterproof over mitts by Z-Packs. I don't know where they are right now. So these are my current replacements by Outdoor Research. They're very similar. It's a waterproof, breathable material for those rainy, wet, cold days. So I had this OpSack, which is a plastic bag, essentially a Ziploc that the company claims to be scent-proof. I carried this with me on the outside of my pack every day. Inside was my lunch and protein bars or granola bars, snacks. Also, I would have my toothbrush and some powdered toothpaste. Then a little accessory bag with all sorts of things I may need on the trail. Now I have this little bag usually stuffed on the outside of my backpack, but it's often in my fanny bag, which I carry with me around my shoulder at all times. So these are the things I may need while I'm actually on the trail. So if you open it up, that's insect repellent, a pair of cheaters, oops, they came out of their case. These are things called nose optical, so they're basically squeezed on the nose, just enough for help me to see for those people who may need that. A dabber for sunscreen, a whistle for security, lip balm. Don't ever forget your lip balm, so essential. This is my tripod I used on the adventure. Now, I didn't use it that much because I was in too much of a rush to stop and take pictures with the tripod. So that is the tripod I used. And also a little lighter. So I have 2 lighters within my kit, one in this and the other one's in my cooking kit. Then my first aid kit. My first aid kit, nothing real fancy about that. I make it myself. Got this little bag, lots of Band-Aids, lots of other things in there. But the one thing that's probably relevant is, where is it? There you go. That's a little Swiss Army knife. Now I like that in there because I always want my scissors. I also want my tweezers and my toothpick and a little knife to do what you have to do. But this one's particularly nice because it's got a rounded file edge so that you can clean your nails. Many of them do not. They have a little screwdriver on there, so I like this one. Then my toiletry bag that had all sorts of good and important things. My toilet kit with the poo emojis all over it. I rather like this bag. DCF again. Inside it, well, I've got some tissues here, some Kleenexes instead of toilet paper, and they worked for me. I was very frugal and I didn't use them that much. So that is, of course, essential. What else do I got in here? Oh, there's a little bit extra toilet paper, which I guess I didn't realize I had them both in there. Hand sanitizer to clean yourself off. Make sure everything's good in the backwoods. This is a little secret weapon and an essential that I think most people should be aware of, and this is baby cream. It's for those chafing in those delicate areas. Now, if you've got chafing in those delicate areas in the backwoods and you're 3 days from civilization, you're going to wish you had some of this. So it doesn't take too much. In this case, I transferred it into a small little container, and this has served me very well. Then my trowel. For the life of me, I can't remember the brand name of this trowel. I'll list it on the outside. But I like this particularly because of the rounded edges. So it fits inside this bag without poking holes in it. A lot of them have points, which are fine and dandy, but I'm always concerned about those points poking into your little bag or possibly your backpack. Then at the bottom, and I'll put this away, I had my rain gear. I always like to keep it on the outside so I have access to it when in an event I need it, if it starts to rain or if it's really windy and I may need to put on a windbreaker. So I have some pants. These are rain pants made by Z-Packs. They serve me quite well. They do not have a zipper on the leg, which made it difficult often to put it on over my shoes on the trail. Not a deal breaker. Then I had a waterproof breathable shell by Light & Equipment. This served me very well. I like this a lot. However, on the multiple rain days, it would wet out, and that's pretty typical of all waterproof breathable fabrics. So the last thing on the outside, I had a little 1/8" foam, full-size pad I got from a company called Gossamer Gear. I use that to supplement my bedroll. Also use it as a sit pad as I lounged in the middle of the day or at campsite. So let's look on the inside. So this is, I'm going to be unpacking it pretty much the way I would have packed it, but in reverse, of course. So this is a bag used to inflate my Thermarest. It's made by Thermarest, but it's waterproof, so I also use it to put my puffy in as well. And then I stuff it inside my bag to consume any open spaces. And then I have quick access to it when I need it. So this is my tent. I really like my Z-Packs Altiplex Solo tent made with DCF. It served me well, but it needs two things. It needs a pole jack or an extender because a typical trekking pole isn't tall enough for this tent. So in order for it to reach its maximum height, you need this little pole jack. It's made out of carbon fiber and it's quite light. Then you need at least 6 tent pegs. I usually go with 10. And here's my favorite tent pegs. These are made by Solic 46. These are absolutely marvelous. Now, they work so well. I think I have another one in here. Yeah, there you go. But I'm missing 2 tent pegs that I like for the ridge line or the height line, which gives it a little extra support. I usually get a nice V stake by Vargo. So that's not in here, but it's also something that I like to bring with me. For my food carry, I had a Ursack. This is an Ursack bag, just the regular size. I didn't need the extra large. Some people had the extra large bag, but I was able to put 6-7 days of food in this and be able to squeeze it all in. Then stuffed around things is my bag I use for carrying all the things I may need once I get to camp. So my in-tent or once I get a camp bag, which is deep in the side of my backpack, I have my battery pack. In there is my battery pack for charging up my electronics as well as lots of cords to do so. The brand I actually took is a 20 milliamp hours by Anchor, and that served me well. The amount was perfect for what I needed. Let's get that out of the way. Also my headlamp, this is a little Petzl Bindi, works out really well, but frankly on the Great Divide Trail I never even used this because I got to bed before dark and I woke up with the sun, so this was something I never used. This is a little sewing repair kit. This is by Z-Packs. I used this a fair bit because I had lots of mishaps on the trail where things needed to be repaired. This is a charger unit. It's a power delivery charger with USB-C, which charges up my device faster when I'm in town, and this one worked well for me. Lucky Duck duct tape repair bags. I like these. There's something about the way they're stored. It makes it great for first aid as well, but nevertheless it's a nice, easy, convenient way of carrying duct tape when you need it. And last in here is my Gear Aid repair kit. So there's all sorts of tapes in here to repair your Thermarest, your bedroll, or Gore-Tex or other types of nylons that you may have. My clothing bag. Now let's look inside that. But before I do, I'll mention that it's on a DCF stuff sack, or it's inside a DCF stuff sack, so it'll protect the contents while it's within my bag. Not tightly packed, so that it folds nicely inside the backpack and doesn't cause problems and makes it easier to pack. So let's look inside. Well, this is a little ultra-absorbent towel, which I use great to dry my feet or dry the tent if it got super wet. Just going to throw that out of there. Let's move this over. Now, inside my tent at night, I had my long bottoms and my long top. This is made by Outdoor Research. It's a polyester merino wool blend. I love these. They are super comfortable, they wear well, and they are quite warm. These are my spare underpants. Always have one spare pair, just in case there's issues. I have one spare pair of socks. These are a merino wool blend. These are also darn toughs. I got another pair which is one size bigger than what I normally use, but these are shorties, and I use these for my sleep socks. And last, a spare pair. I got a spare, let's just say a luxury item. This is a t-shirt made out of merino wool, made by Mount Equipment Co-op, and I use this for a whole bunch of things. One is a pillow at night. I put it over top of my thermarest, and then I tuck my inflatable pillow inside that, and it stays rock solid. Also, on those trown days, it's nice to have a clean shirt, so I can wear that. And also a little extra insulation. I can wear it underneath my Columbia wind shirt, and it makes it much warmer. So this is my sleeping system. This is my QUILT by Z-Packs. Again, I've used this a great deal, and I've tested it a great deal. Still like this, so this is a keeper. And it's stored in a waterproof roll bag, also DCF fabric, which protects the bag from moisture. So last but not least, at the very bottom is my bedroll. I had the Thermarest Uberlight. It worked pretty good. It's the second one I've owned. The first one failed on me on another trip. So I thought I'd try this one, and it served me really well to the very last day. Then it lost air. I still haven't figured out where the failure is on this, so I will not be taking this on my next trip. But that's what I had on the Great Divide Trail. Now rolled up inside it, or shall I say folded. See, I have it folded like that so it fits on the bottom of the bag. So folded up inside is my pillow. Now, this is just a placeholder. This is a pillow by Trekology. This works well, it's a nice pillow, but the one I actually brought with me was by Thermarest. Now it failed also, and so I've returned it to Thermarest themselves, and they are sending me a replacement, but I have not received it yet. Hopefully I'll have it for the summer hikes. So this is the clothing I had on my back. Let's just one by one. I have a pair of boxer briefs by Outdoor Research. I have a sun shirt. This is by Columbia. It's super lightweight, stopped the sun, stopped the bugs, and served me well. It was never too hot or never too cold. These are a pair of socks by Darn Tough. These are the actual socks I took with me on the adventure, and they're still in great shape. So I likely will be using them this summer as well. My sun hat. This is a bucket hat by Outdoor Research. Had this with me for many years and served me very well. One of the reasons I like this is it protects me from bugs, the sun, and my ears as well as the back. But as I make ascents, baseball caps, the peaks getting in the way, I can just flip this up and it becomes a convertible. This is a sun glove I wore to protect my delicate fair skin. I had them with me all the time. Now these pants, this is a brand new replacement pair by Outdoor Research. They're convertible pants. They're called the Feroci's. The bottoms unzip. Now I like them so much because they form so well. They never get too hot. I never get too cold. They flex well. But frankly, the Great Divide Trail ate up my first pair, so I had to throw them out. I've got several pairs in my inventory. This is my new pair for 2022. They need a belt, so just a simple nylon belt. That works well. Here's the other half of the sun glove. So liner socks. These are made by Njinji. They're toe socks. They work out well. I put them inside my other main socks, and it reduces the friction and blisters. I had them with me on almost every day on the Great Divide Trail, and I didn't get blisters there. I did get blisters on my heel, but that was from too much grit getting back there because my gaiters failed. A cotton bandana. I always have one with me, and I generally wear it around my neck, which protects the sun, keeps the bugs off, and has easy accessibility if I need to use it for a washing tool, for first aid, or for any other reason. A bandana is a very good universal camping tool. The buff I thought of as an essential part of my kit. This one I would wear at night to secure my toque so that it wouldn't fall off and keep me warm. I also wear it around my neck during those cold, chilly days. It significantly improved my warmth. Also protects me from bugs. Countless uses for this fabric, piece of clothing, and highly endorse it. One thing I always had with me was a watch, a little analog watch, and why I like this was because with the bezel, it would help me know when my next break was. I found that digital timers, I would inevitably not hear the beeps, but this one I would always know the relative time in which my last break was. So the original shoes I brought with me on the adventure was a pair of Olympus 4s made by Ultra. They failed on me about halfway through the trip. They lost some seams, so I replaced them with a pair of, these are Salomon Ultra 4s. And they worked pretty good till the rest of the trips, but they also failed me. You can look at the front here. The material here ripped. Now, the good thing is, Salomon noticed that this was a fault in these particular shoes, or they certainly assessed it as such, and gave me a full refund. So I ended up getting a warranty claim for these. Thank you, Salomon. But I was also wearing a pair of Superfeet Trailblazers footbeds. They worked out really well for me. Super comfortable, performed very well, but they also wore out by the end of the trip. I guess you can certainly expect that after 1,000 kilometers. I wore a fanny bag over my shoulder every day, all day. This isn't the one I actually use. This is a company I do like. It's called Thru-Hike. I used a fanny bag I like even better than this, made by Northern Ultralight. But let's just look inside what the type of things I would have. First of all, I'll have my cell phone in this pocket here, so I'd have quick access to it as needed, and it stayed quite nicely tucked against my body.
My cell phone was an Apple iPhone 11 Pro with an OtterBox case. What you see now is the iPhone 13 Pro. I've since upgraded. And for my headphones, I use the Apple AirPod Pros.
But inside I would have things like my Garmin InReach, a pocket knife. This could often be in my pocket as well. This isn't the one I actually had on the trip. The one I had on the trip, I lost it, and it was made by Spyderco. This is a Benchmade one, and it works well. I like the bright colors, less likely to lose it if you drop it. My wallet, which has all the things I may need. And because it was a pandemic, I also had my face mask. One thing I forgot is my trekking poles. I don't have them here because I've thrown them out. So this is a replacement pair, but I won't talk about them. The pair I used was a pair of carbon fiber trekking poles by Gossamer Gear. Liked them a lot. They performed really well. I've had them for thousands of kilometers, but they broke on a bushwhack. User error. It wasn't anything to do with the fault of the design or the construction of the poles. So that's pretty much it. That's the gear I took with me on the Great Divide Trail, 2021.
You can find my complete gear list on our website. The link can be found in the video description notes or by using this QR code.